Howdy, back at it again. Today's video is going to be an M Bison tutorial. Going to look at a sequence you can use when your opponent is in burnout to lead to some guaranteed stuns, some checkmate situations, and to give your opponent some psycho nightmares. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So, sequence is as follows: back heavy kick, stand medium punch, crouch medium punch, and then we're going to dry brush cancel that crouch medium punch into back heavy kick and just loop the situation. Right? And we're going to do this as much as we want because it's good, okay? So why is it good? Well, first thing that's good about it, they can't really mash on it at any point in time. I want to be point blank here. They can't mash on this at any point in time because we can always convert into a combo. So if they mash after back heavy kick, they counter hit. They trade if they mash after medium punch with a forehand, but we can always combo off that trade. Most of the time, it's crouch medium kick. Sometimes it's going to be crouch medium punch. The only case I've seen where it is crouch medium punch so far has been Aki stand light kick, but I'm not going to say that that is the only move that is the case, but it's the only one I found so far. Okay, obviously they can't match here. We're doing a drive rush. We can loop it. We get pressure. Okay, obviously they don't want to match after drive rush. So that's really stupid, but hey, you know. People do it sometimes, and if I have them, delay it anymore, you're just going to be seeing that, hey, these frame traps that were frame traps are still frame traps the second time, okay? So they can never mash on it. As long as we can loop it, they can just, right? They just have to hold it. Now, you go, okay, yeah, I saw you said you had to be point blank. So how often am I going to land point blank back heavy kick? And the answer really is, well, as often as you land heavy cycle mine, because as often as you land heavy cycle mine, you can meaty with heavy cycle crusher, and you're +9 in their face, and guess what? You're point blank and can do back heavy kick to start that sequence up, which is fantastic. You're like, okay, well, what if they mash after the cycle crusher? It's like, well, I told you, you're +9, so you just, get whatever you want here. And I did the wrong medium. Boom, into the combo. Set it up, do the whole thing. Do you like to beat up Ryu? I like to beat up Ryu, right? They just die, right? They push, they die. So not a very good option for him, and I've already shown you, but I'll do it one more time. I've already shown you that, hey, they also can't afford to mash at any point in the sequence that we already looked at, because it has pretty much the exact same result. Okay, now you're like, okay, sure, but how often am I really going to land heavy psycho mine, huh? Just because you want to say the video stinks and it's not applicable, even though you know in your heart that it is. You can land heavy psycho mine off of literally anything. Jabs, no problem, just dry brush cancel. Crouch medium kick, no problem, just dry brush cancel. Mediums, no problem, just use OD scissors, and you're good, right? So you can set it up off of literally any starter, even if you're like, okay, well, what if I just am fishing for counter hit scissors? You're like, okay, I already told you it worked off of jabs. I don't know what more you want, right? So it doesn't matter. You get counter hit scissors, you still do it, and I stink, but you see the link works. So anything you want, you can land this. So you're like, okay, so you're telling me they can't mash. Yes, I'm telling you they cannot mash. So you're telling me that if I land this with any amount of drive gauge, I just guarantee that I stun them? And I say, yes, that's what I'm telling you. Yeah. From pretty much almost anywhere on screen. If you're like really backed up, it might not work. From here, I think even if they were not back recovering, maybe, if they were like recovering in place, it might reduce the corner carry enough, but yeah, right, because I have to take too long to do it so they can get their drive gauge back. But notice I'm already giving them some gauge at the start of this. I'm not like keeping them, empty or locked or at 0, right? So I'm sort of simulating that they've already had a chance for it to recover, right? But yes, really, right? It really is the case that you can pretty much force them to hold that DI as long as you're maybe like around here on the screen or closer to the corner, so you don't have to loop the situation as often, right? You don't have to make them block as much. However, I want you to imagine a situation. So the situation is this. Your opponent has just cashed out. No drive, no level 3. You're low on drive, you're low on health, they got a huge life lead, and then you're struck with an epiphany. I bet this fool doesn't have meaties. I'm going to mash Crouch Light Punch. And he doesn't have meaties. He stinks. And guess what? Because he doesn't have meaties and you have amazing tech, you walk away the winner. Hopefully this is helpful. As always, have a good time.